Folks, we are here with now neo-local legend, cartoonist, award-winning cartoonist, ye old gentleman cartoonist, Mr. Keith Knight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, dude, thank you for coming.
It's amazing to be able to go out on a Saturday night. Just be somewhere.
We'll just be somewhere, and we're trying to keep it clean. We got sanitizing there. This is the legendary Cat's Cradle venue that normally holds about 800 people, and we've got about 10.
Yeah.
You know, just like no, just that's it. That's the limit. But you, first of all, everybody pay attention. It is official, season 2.
Season 2.
You have been, dude. Congratulations,
Season 2.
everybody.
Woo! Season 2!
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
So, I gotta ask now that this ship is rolling, what inspired you to make woke?
My industry imploding, the print industry going down the tubes. I was living a very enjoyable existence in San Francisco, but I watched the internet sort of wipe out, the print industry, and I was losing newspapers, and I just saw venues like closing, like music venues, and I had a nice rent-controlled apartment, but I didn't want to be the bitter San Franciscan, 20 years down the line going, I remember San Francisco was cool, So, I just said to my wife, this is the time to go down to LA, see if we can develop something for television. And headed down to LA and, met the right people, and just everything fell in line, the planets aligned. And
Okay.
so.
Have there been any surprises as you make this transition, your work on the page to now your work on the screen?
Surprising. I don't know if it's surprising, but I mean, I guess a global pandemic is surprising.
Yeah,
It's like
surprise.
the world totally going down the tubes. Well, I become successful. I guess that was that was kind of surprising.
Well, it's got to be somebody, and if it's going to be somebody, I nominate you.
Yeah, but really just what was surprising to me was how I always knew I would develop something for TV or film, but I thought it would be some sleazy, film company out of Nevada who says we ran out of money, we got an infusion from some Eastern European, but there's going to be lots more nudity or something like that, you know? And the fact that we have this amazing cast.
That cast.
Oh,
I
gosh,
love
the
the
cast
poster.
is brilliant.
It's fantastic.
The cast and the animation, the director, Mo Marable, was like, you know what? I don't want to do 2D animation. I want to use puppetry, which I love the fact that this whole night at Gigetto was really the first artist that I saw when I first moved here, and he had the T-Rex, and we were all just blown away by it. But, the puppetry just elevated the show to just somewhere else. And the acting, the music. Stanley Clark did the music for the show, which is
jazz legend. Clark,
I couldn't imagine all that happening. So
now I remember you've blessed us by coming on Matinee Prices a couple of times, which we appreciate, and of course the door is always open.
I love the show.
And I remember when you were hinting at the show, you were like, all right, I can tell you this, but I can't tell you this, no. And I remember the animation was a big secret.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit, because I've seen pictures, sort of the drawings, and then you see it on the show, and they come to life. Talk about why was that a secret?
Well, I mean, we considered it the special sauce, and it was so hard to convince people that it would work, which is, okay, we're going to do this thing about police brutality and racism, but it's going to be funny, and then there's going to be inanimate objects that come to life during, it was hard to convince people of it. In fact, Like when we shot the stuff, we waited till we got all the all the computer, like it was real life stuff, but we didn't want to show the executives Lamorne like talking to, seeing some guy behind the thing shaking, it wasn't going to convince them like, yeah, let's give them more money. So we waited till they completed one of the scenes, completely. And once you saw that, you were like, oh, this does work, this does work. So we were just so excited, and yeah, we didn't want to give it away too much because it was just something that was going to set our show apart from other shows, and everything just seemed to come together. It was just amazing.
You talked about, or you just mentioned the sort of seriousness, and then the cartoons of the show, and I was wondering that. I think we were both wondering that. A show that talks about the trials of being a person of color in this country, the physical, emotional, and mental toll that it takes.
Yeah.
And then you infuse the show. The show is so funny with so much comedy. How difficult to walk the line is that?
Well, I mean, that's what my work is known for, is to sort of deals with these issues, but deals with humor, with a lot of humor. And I think that's the best way to sort of, deal with these issues. It's sort of the medicine. The humor is the medicine. So to take that sensibility from the page to the screen, that was really important to me. And so it was just like, a lot of dramedies emphasize the drama and not so much the humor. And I just remember being on set just saying, like, I just want to be the funniest dramedy out there, And so, and I think we managed to do that. And,
You did. I told Huru it's like being tickled, to the point of like you can't stand it, and also being punched in the face at the same time.
Yeah, that's it.
I was laughing out loud when I watched it.
That was it. It's like
success.
Tickle, punch. tickle, punch. Like that was what we wanted to do. And that was, like I always said that, like, I wanted to make a comic strip that I would read. And it's the same with the show. Is I want to make a show that I would watch, and so this is the show that I would watch. And I've been doing comics for 28 years professionally, and it's like, this is what has worked for me. So I'm just gonna do what's worked for me in any medium. And so it's gratifying, and and the money's a lot better than cartoon.
There you go. And speaking of which, like you said, you've been doing this for nearly 3 decades now.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask if someone had the collection of The Nightlife and Chronicles and Think. If someone had a collection of those cartoons and strips and gone to your website and bought a few.
Kchronicles.com.
Kchronicles.com. Could we follow a little bit of what's going on in woke, kind of like Game of Thrones or Harry Potter?
You'll see jokes in it all throughout it that reference the comics, and like it just depends. Like someone who's never heard of my stuff will still find the show funny, but anyone who's followed my stuff will see all these inside jokes, and will see jokes that were on the page that come to the screen. But anybody who's known me for a while, anybody from San Francisco, like people from San Francisco will get all these San Francisco jokes. Right. Black folks will get all these jokes that these inside jokes. People from Boston will get jokes. It's all, I love the idea of people from different perspectives still watching, like, and finding the humor in different ways than other people. Right. So that was fun to do. It was fun to do.
Have to. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, and I just want to say it's a testament to the group of people that were working with me. I mean, cartooning is such a solitary thing. It was nice to work with a team of all these different folks and their priority was to make sure that my sensibility remained in it. So that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, right on.
I was going to say we have to wrap up, but I was wondering one thing. What was it like to experience your first time watching the show on the screen when it was totally finished?
It's interesting because I've seen it, I don't know, like 100 times every episode because I was part of the editing. I was part
Wow.
of like so many
They
aspects
kept
of
you
it.
in the room.
Putting music. Like I had, a bit to do all through it.
You helped with the soundtrack and everything?
Yeah.
I
Like
follow that Spotify playlist for
it's
Woke.
a great
There's
playlist, right?
It is wonderful.
And it was a combination of myself, the co-creator, Marshall Todd, and then like Issa Rae has a company called Radio, RAEDIO, and they help put it together. And of course, Stanley Clark's music included in it. But like you're so inside of it that you don't even know what's good or what's like. I was like, I don't even know if any of this is good, So it was finally I got to see it. Someone put me on a Zoom at a public screening in Denver, and so I got to sit on this, on this computer and watch people watch. I think episode 2, and to see them laughing at certain things, it was just so nice. And that's the thing that kills me the most is we haven't been able to do a public screening. I would have loved to have done a public screening at here or 2 doors down or whatever, and just sit and I hope we get to do that at some point. I'd love to do it, but it's I'm humbled by
First crack of daylight we get, we'll make that happen.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But thank you for inviting me. This is
Thank you for being here. And
Yeah, we're so lucky that you came up on stage
and
with Huru tonight. Thank you.
congratulations again on season 2.
yeah. No,
Right on.
I'm psyched.
Woohoo! Yeah, Keith Knight.
Keith Knight.
Keith Knight, everyone. Make sure you check out Woke on Hulu. Second season is on the way.